Obesity is one of the most serious health issues the world is currently facing in the 21st century. Obesity is currently blamed as a leading cause of many preventable diseases, and if left unchecked, can be fatal. According to some figures published by worldobesity.org, the world prevalence of obesity has more than tripled between 1975 and 2022, with it being the most important health problem today. But something of cause for greater concern is that in 2024, the NCD-RISC found that more than 1 billion people are now living with obesity, and that the World Obesity Federation finds that 3 billion are living overweight, and that now being a bigger health risk than people who are underweight. But this begs a very imposing question. How did humanity make it to a point where most of the world are eating themselves to death? Well, first, we must define what obesity is, what causes it, and why it is such an alarming issue. All these questions could definitely be whole other videos themselves, but for now we'll give some brief defining points. Starting with what is classified as obesity, it is commonly defined using the BMI body mass index calculation, which is essentially your height to weight ratio. The WHO defines an overweight individual as one with a BMI between 25 and 30, while a BMI of 30 or more is considered obese. And although there is some validity to using the BMI system, personally, I do not think it is a fair representation of what it actually means to be obese. Because by these standards, someone like 8-time Mr. Olympia winner Ronnie Coleman, who on stage was 5'11" and weighed over 300 pounds, would be considered extremely obese by BMI standards. A more accurate representation of what it actually means to be obese is body composition, which includes body fat percentage and lean body mass. This is clearly stated in an article by Goshen Health, where they say that the limitation of BMI is that this measurement does not distinguish fat from muscle. They then go on to say that body fat percentage provides a better picture of an individual's risk of weight-related disease, can distinguish fat from muscle, and is a more accurate number overall. And so, what threshold do they use to classify obesity? Well, according to the same article, they claim that 32+% body fat is obese for women, while 26+% body fat is obese for men, at least according to the American Council on Exercises. Now that we have briefly defined what it actually means to be obese from a scientific perspective, let's quickly delve into the reasons as to why obesity occurs in the first place. Now, I know that is a super loaded question, and like I said before, you could probably make an entire series off of that one question, but to briefly summarize, we can take a look at a study published in Science Direct, where they state that, quote, obesity is driven by complex interactions between genetic, behavioral, environmental, socioeconomic factors, rapid urbanization, and the accelerating consumption of higher calorie diets in combination with sedentary lifestyles. Now, I want to take a look at that last reason, and although all the other reasons are true, in my personal opinion, I would say that this is one of the biggest reasons we are currently facing an obesity epidemic. To prove that point, in the same research paper, they state that the modern environment in both urban and rural areas often promotes overeating and inactivity. An obesogenic environment, characterized by the easy availability of inexpensive, energy-dense foods and reduced opportunities for physical exercise. So, although there are 1,000,001 reasons to blame for the obesity epidemic, which do also include mental health issues, genetic predisposition, and socioeconomic factors, in my personal opinion, I would say that the easy access to fast food and/or food with little to no nutritional value in combination with sedentary lifestyles is the primary reason most people struggle with being overweight or obese. Now, why is the obesity health crisis such an alarming issue? Well, you could answer it by saying that having excess fat on your body will make your heart work harder, strain your ligaments and joints, and impact everyday mundane tasks. However, the recent obesity is undeniably the biggest health risk we are facing is because obesity is one of the leading risk factors for early death, with it being responsible for millions of premature deaths each year. It's not obesity itself that is so fatal, it is the numerous amounts of health complications that arise from being obese. Everything from coronary heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, lipidemia, respiratory problems like sleep apnea and hypoventilation syndrome, skeletal disorders like osteoarthritis, and the most alarming of them all, cancer. So okay, If you are watching this video and happen to be overweight or obese, or feel that you are on your way there, understand that not all hope is lost. The reason I bring those points up is that you can understand the severity of this issue, but luckily there is one thing you can do to drastically lose weight, improve metabolic health, and mitigate the effects of obesity, which is, you guessed, lifting weights. Of course, there are other things you need to do in order to prevent or mitigate obesity, like proper diet, sleep, and cardio, but I want to tell you why lifting weights, of course, in my personal opinion, is the best and most effective thing you could do for obesity, and I will break down the reasoning into 3 key points: the metabolic advantage of building muscle, the preservation of muscle during fat loss, and the improved joint protection. Starting off with number 1, muscle is a metabolically active organ, meaning that for it to maintain itself in its structure, it has to actively consume energy. This energy is primarily taken from the calories stored in the body. In other words, muscle will literally burn fat for you while resting. As a result, your basal metabolic rate will increase, not only making it easier to lose fat, but easier to lose fat while not having to do anything since the muscle does it for you. During your fat loss journey, the loss of muscle is inevitable as your body will start looking to other sources of fuel to survive once you cut out a large chunk of calories. If you are overweight or obese, you can still preserve the muscle on your body during fat loss with lifting weights. This is extremely beneficial as it will of course not only help you lose weight, but it will allow you to recompose your body as you lose fat, allowing your body to maintain a well-put structure which you can build off of once you are at your goal weight. For the third and final reason, it is also no secret that being obese or overweight puts a tremendous amount of strain on all your joints from all the extra weight on your body. One of the key benefits of lifting weights is that the muscle created from those weights will act as protection for your joints, tendons, and ligaments. The bicep and shoulder muscles protect your shoulder and rotator cuff. The traps and lat muscles protect your spine, and the quadricep, hamstring, and glute muscles protect your hips, lower back, and your knees, just to name a few. Now, there are many other reasons as to why you should lift weights if you are obese or overweight, such as improved insulin resistance, among others, but these 3 reasons are my top reasons why lifting weights should be your number 1 priority if you are struggling with obesity. As the years pass by and obesity continues to grow and become a bigger and more strenuous problem on the world, please let this video be a sign that there are still viable solutions out there. Everybody has the right to live comfortably in their body, to be able to move independently, and to be able to live a healthy lifestyle without feeling like a prisoner in their own body.